Welcome to the Leaves of Change podcast, sponsored by Tree of Hope,
a peer-run organization dedicated to serve the recovery community.
Our hosts are Melissa Caffarelli and Nick Borowski.
They regularly bring you inspirational stories of hope and recovery.
Hey guys, it's Melissa here.
I'm Nick.
And we're with the Leaves of Change podcast, brought to you by Tree of Hope. And today we're interviewing Jeremy here, and he's going to share a little bit about his experience, Strength and Hope, and his pathway of recovery. So, Jeremy.
So Jeremy, you were talking about this couch and how there's no burn holes in it.
I was talking about it before the phone rang and we had to start over.
Yeah.
But it is nice to be sitting on this couch and the room is nice. It doesn't smell, crazy funky. I mean, sometimes I just forget what a blessing it is to be in a safe room with safe people, and my brain is not spun on calculating the room and calculating the next move. Because that's just, and I'm still wired like that today. Sometimes I'm at the grocery store and I think I'm about to walk out, Sometimes I think this is free,
right.
But that's just not real. So we're at Second Chance, and this guy, Nick, we can talk about Nick for a minute, right?
Sure,
let's talk about Nick here. So I met Nick at treatment at Avery Road the first time I tried to get clean. It was the summertime. The seasons, I'm big about the seasons,
Pretty clammy, yeah.
Yeah, the seasons put me where I was at times, I can think back. And when people stay clean and they stay clean for 3 months, I always tell them, like, you've made it a season, You've made it through a season. And for me, that's a big deal. I met Nick in Avery Road, it was summertime. And he came in, I was like, this is like Jim Carrey's unwanted son. That's who he looked like. He looked like Jim Carrey's unwanted, stole Jim Carrey's money, pawned the Oscar, And he just had a really great energy about him. He was a dirtbag, though. He's just a dirtbag. He was, like everyone in there.
Right.
He was. And I say that was,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it when I say it, but the room in there is just, when you're, you come into those places so broken, it's so hard to see anything past that.
Yeah, that's all we knew.
These people come in and they bring the meetings and dude, people would just be like, I think my phone's ringing. Sorry, it's just stressing me out. Life is, is stressing me out and I'm all over the place, so I apologize for that. But, my phone ringing, I still get that anxiety of oh, that's the move or that's the this, and I want to
Go.
Yeah. But it's different things coming through the phone now. You go into a treatment and you're just, at least for me, I can say I was just so broken. I was so broken, and the people come in and they sit like this and they're like, I brought Bob to share today. Bob, experience anything open. And then Bob's like, I own a restaurant. Life's amazing. Vacation.
Or something that struck me was the speakers would come out and they would compare their insanity in their lives with traffic.
Right.
They would be like, there was traffic on the way, and I acted out on, it made me unspiritual. I'm like, what the freak are you talking about? I got warrants, I owe the plug,
Right.
My whole life is ruined, and you're comparing with what I'm going through with traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when I'm in traffic, I'm anxious about other things.
Right. So, I remember getting that vibe, but I believe some of them, you know what I mean? Some I swear I knew that guy from before, and I saw the change in a few of them.
Not so much that they're, it's relatable, it's hard to relate day 3, day 4. I'm still in a fog. You're coming in here happy and they're lit. They're lit. Oh, I use that word. I feel like I'm gonna die in my sleep. They come in there and they're just so boom, and where I was at was I couldn't buy a meal for myself. Even if I could buy a meal for myself, I didn't have the appetite to eat the meal. I didn't have the desire for food. I just didn't. Food was if it happens, you know what I mean? I gotta stack this high before I get to food, I got a bunch of moves to make before I buy a sandwich. And that's just where I was at. I was fortunate though. So I was there with Nick and we left with a group of friends.
Yeah.
And we went to meetings and it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And a lot of these words that you hear when you first go there, or at least the words I heard, I just couldn't apply them. You know, I couldn't even, words that had no meaning to me. You know, my grandma would say, Jeremy, I'm devastated, I'm hurt, and I'm so upset with you. And all I hear is, you're making it a problem right now for me to get your car keys. That's all I hear.
Right.
You keep talking, and I'm trying to get the keys. And also the debit card, if I could get that on the slide, that would be really cool.
For food.
Yeah.
Well, it's for takeout.
Or for my tire that popped 4 times this month, or for my insurance that I've already paid 3 times in the last 30 days, but I keep telling you my phone bill's due, my phone bill's due. You know, the way I got introduced, and I go to 12-step meetings, the way I got introduced is my grandma's house got raided. Look, I was chilling with the dogs, right? And the dogs were like, they were barking. You know, I did newspapers, I got home at 4 a.m., I had this McDonald's breakfast, gross. And my dogs were barking at the window. I opened the window, it was SWAT coming up the driveway. My grandmother was in the bathroom. I was trying to flush these drugs, you know. And like, how crazy is it? My grandma's in the bathroom. I just mush the door, flush the drugs, chaos, explosion, all this stuff happens again. Like, she just raided. I'm like, you know what? I went home and I told my grandma, what are my needs for my grandma after I get raided and like have all this chaos? Look, it all settles down. It's 11 a.m. I walk in the house. You know what I'm saying? I need money. But I need money though. Yeah. I don't care about the doors broken off the hinges. I don't care about the deadbolts broken. I don't care. I don't care that your dresser is sideways and they went through your important papers and they freaking threw the fridge stuff on the floor, the couch.
Interrogated her.
Yeah. I was in my boxers, dude, in the living room with my grandma in like January.
Right.
I don't care. All I hear again is, you're not trying to give me any money, and I also need those keys. You know what I'm saying? And what I told my grandmother is, if you don't go to the bank right now and get me $3,000, I'm gonna die. And that's what I told her. She went and got me money. You know, that's crazy. So that's what introduced me to 12-step meetings, and I ended up in treatment that summer, and I saw Nick there, and it just didn't work for me, dude. That's what I was saying about like words, you know. How important were words to you? Like, Melissa, words. I mean, when people were like, Melissa, can you be honest with me? You suffering addict, you. Can you be honest with me? Did you steal my money?
My mom would literally say, when you're about to use, think of me. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why would you say that to me?
I'm gonna use double if it was my mom.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking like, could I get an extra 20?
Yeah, I'll think of you all you want.
Like, let me use not to think of anything.
Right.
No,
nothing matters. And
no.
And I think it's important to mention is, you know, when me and Jeremy left Avery Road, we had kind of sort of a plan, like, let's go to meetings. Jeremy's grandma lived right down the street from my grandma, and, you know, Jeremy would pick me up, and we were doing the thing. 2 of the people that we were in there with, one gentleman, you know, was like on the fringes or whatever, and he eventually relapsed and was driving his car, nodded out behind the wheel, and hit somebody head on, and he was literally decapitated.
Dang.
Like,
that is a true story.
That's
Connecticut Avenue.
Yeah, it's
gone.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a true story.
Yeah, and
You guys were living in like a sober living house or something?
No, grandmas, and we had friends at Lawrence Court, and we would make the rounds and go to meetings. Like when Nick was just saying, going through the motions had a plan, right?
Yeah.
But like all the while, I knew, like, I'm gonna get high again.
Right.
Just I'm gonna go through the motions though, like, right? And we were excited, dude.
Yeah, but we never, we never like said that out loud.
Of course not.
You know, so.
And that's a problem though, right?
Yeah, we were kind of sponsoring ourselves. And
so
kind of,
yeah,
you know, not taking direction from something else. You know, we were kind of just trying to figure it out.
What's that tough part? Here's a room, 30 people. I'm new. I just got out of treatment. How do I walk up to, you know, Bob and say, yo, Bob, I'm fresh out of treatment, dude. And, you know, I got this paycheck, and these are my thoughts. That's a very uncomfortable thing.
Yeah. And then
that's a very uncomfortable
thing.
thing.
They just say something like, oh, well, pray about it, or let me hold the check for you. It's like, that's sketch.
Yeah,
you know
or I don't do that and I get decapitated on Connecticut Avenue, or arrested, or they find me in the bathroom. These are real things. This is really what happens.
Right.
From a conversation of, hey Bob, my name's Jeremy, I'm fresh out, I'm not feeling, you know, this is how I'm feeling today and this is what I have going on. The alternative, that's just what's real. The alternative is, I cash my paycheck, I make a few moves, I get arrested. I make a few moves, the girl in the seat next to me dies. This is just what happens. And what Nick was just saying about going through the motions is just like little pieces that stick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like little pieces stick, and then you know where to go, and then you know what they're saying is real, and then you see Melissa, suffering Melissa's in there, clammy, you know, and then you see Melissa next year, and you're like, damn, she's still here?
Yeah, like
Wow.
she's happy.
Yeah, she's
got
not
a job.
90 pounds, man. She looks
Yeah.
fresh.
90 pounds.
She's looking healthy, right?
Yeah, it's like, what is that? What do they do?
And what's the word that ties into that?
Attraction.
Hope, attraction. Hope, attraction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is an attractive thing to see. Wow, these people are healthy. These people are used to be gross.
Yeah.
Like, I would never let them in my house.
Right.
Ever. You know?
Except me that one time.
Except Nick that one time.
Until his grandma said never again.
And my grandma still asks about all those guys. You know, there was a time she still asks, you know, how's the mechanic guy? What's his name?
Aw.
And, you know, and she still asks about all these people. You know, but words are so important. You know, the word for talking about willingness.
Yes.
You know, like it just is incomprehensible. I mean, what is it like approaching somebody on the random?
Uncomfortable.
It's totally weird.
It's totally uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like, and your thoughts go to like, no, you know what I'm saying? What is just like cashing your paycheck, like, I find that like either or you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I get 3 hours of sleep and I wake up and I need to work that day, I'm either gonna go back to sleep for 5 hours and like have a bum day, or I'm gonna get up and I'm just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If I gotta walk 15 miles to cop,
We will.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So there is that willingness that, you know, when people would compare, they make metaphors to the street, and then, you know, I wanted to hear about the drugs like early on, and I still do, because like that's how I relate. Because, you know, in the beginning when I'd go to those things, 30 years sober, and I didn't believe them. There's no way that they used like me, felt like me, had the same consequences as me. I thought that, you know, these 12-step meetings were where like squares went, like people that might drink, that were already going to church. Jesus is their higher power.
We're just sicker than everyone else.
Yeah,
There's
and,
no
yeah, I'm unique. Like, cause the way my thoughts were that like if you do what I did, then you just die, go to jail. That's it. There's no hope. There's not.
Yeah,
but
you
you
don't
talk
end up
about
anywhere else.
but you talk about willingness though. Like, I would make it. I would use. Like, I would make that happen. However, I was so willing. So when people started talking about what they did before and how they flipped, like their willingness and faith, these things, like that's what got me thinking, like, okay. And then I heard some of their stories. Some of these old timers went hard.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, some of them, like, NA back then was like at the bottom. It was the last house on the block. Today, there's so many treatment centers, so many different options. Like, maybe people need NA, AA, but they don't necessarily want it. Back then, in the 80s, 90s, that was it. There was no treatment centers. There was no people getting on TV and being like, hey, you know, what's your insurance? Come to my place. There was none of that. It was like,
Slight disclaimer.
like, so it turns out, you know, I was wrong. It turns out that, like, when you talk to some of these old timers, they were the sickest of the sick in the 80s and 90s, and they have so much to offer you, but it doesn't even seem like that in the beginning, because I got to break through my own barriers to be
Right.
to even like
Why would I talk to them?
like
You
why
know?
yeah well, you want me to talk to some old man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I asked this guy Dave. He was like, you know, I don't know if I can sponsor you. I mean, you're probably going to college. Jeremy, I was in a fucking hospital gown. I was in a hospital gown. Like, you think I'm gonna go to college?
You scared him, dude.
I know it. I always bring that up if he's in the room too. I don't know why.
You scared him, dude.
I know, man. So like, what was like? So you just went to treatment just because there was no other option, right? You know,
You
like
had to.
there was.
Well, I
like,
went in the beginning. I went in the winter or the summertime because I just asked my grandma for $3,000 and I ghosted for like 6 months. You know, and I went and I meant what I meant when I went, and then I just drifted off again and I left again from August until December.
Right.
And then the day before Christmas Eve, I have a friend, Brian, that was in Avery Road, and they let him use his phone to like do his insurance or something, and he was messaging me. He was like, I gotta get in here, you gotta get in. And I called and they said, come tomorrow, you might not get a bed. They said, come tomorrow, you might not get a bed. And I said, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. You know, in my head, because I'm calculating everything.
Yeah.
You know, I had this move to make, to get the funds, to make these other moves, to have a chill Christmas, to like move on and have a chill New Year's,
I'll get clean,
and
yeah.
go on the 4th or something.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it was, dude. I literally had all the means to do what I wanted to do. And They said, come tomorrow, you might not get a bed. And I showed up, and I called my grandma. I said, dude, I need a night in your house. I need a night in your house. But first, you got to run me over to this apartment. I'm going to stop in the hallway, and then I need you to take me to Subway. You know, just chaos around. I mean, dude, that's what I did. I called my grandmother. I said, please, I need a safe place and a couple $100. And that's what I did. But I went on Christmas Eve. I was ready to leave on Christmas Day. And every time I see LaTanya and Bunny, I just am like overwhelmed. You know, I woke up Christmas Day and like they were in the cafeteria with like gifts for everybody, smiling, and I was blown. Dude, I was so just blown. And LaTanya was talking about being in there over the holidays, and that's why she comes back. And all I could think to myself is like, why are you here?
Right.
Yo, why are you even here right now? It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Christmas. Why are you here? And like, dude, if they could do that, like, I could give it some overnights.
What is it? And so Ed actually came into the jail on Thanksgiving. Like, actually, so Ed actually came into the jail on Thanksgiving night. So I remember sitting there and, you know, just being like, who drives all the way up? You know, this is like at dinner time, Thanksgiving. This is not like the day after or in the morning because you got to go see family. This was like 8 o'clock. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what it comes down to. This is just the gist of it is like, if you make the moves and you show up, little pieces stick, and you see that person that is around, and then they're still around when you duck out and come back in 6 months, or maybe you're fortunate enough to just stay, even if you sit quiet in the back of the room and you never talk to anybody. But if somebody said, yo, call this number, he'll hook you up, and I call that number and he says, yeah, you gotta come over here, jump over there, do this like that, grab this, and I like PlayStation, grab me a PlayStation. Yo, I'm getting all of those things on the way.
Right.
And I'm gonna be there I'm gonna be there before on time. I'm gonna get your PlayStation, the blunts you like to roll, whatever it is that you need, and I'm gonna be there. You know, hey Bob, my name's Jeremy, I'm suffering. Can I please get your phone number?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you get 3 Bobs or like 4 Bobs and a couple bills or whatever in your life, look, Second Chance is a popular place, bud.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the suffering, you know. This is crazy. I'm still suffering myself, you know, but I have those people in place today that like I can call if I choose to, and sometimes even today I'm not willing to call those people. Sometimes I just want to be miserable, you know, and sometimes I think I still have the answers, and the relief comes when like what's worked for me is just the 12-step program, and that's just what I do. It could be like church, or maybe like, you know, I don't know. I guess different things work for people.
Right, different things work for people. And so what's your advice for someone who, you know, gets out of any 28-day program and they don't even know what will work for them? What would you tell someone, you know, who just got out of treatment? Should they go to sober living? Should they stay in aftercare? Should they like be
like everyone's situation is going to be this different. I would strongly suggest that if you have the opportunity to go to a treatment place and you have the opportunity to speak to the people that are coming in there and plug in right there, like there's an initial plug right there. You get a different meeting, you get to go out to different meetings. Right. Take full advantage while you're there, while you have a meal, a bed, safety, and the wife or whoever's not right here. Plug in, build the foundation, and spill your life out. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, oh, hey, when I was 6 years old, you know what I mean? But hey, this is my situation. I'm on the verge of divorce. I own my own business. It's in the dumps, you know, and I've got all this stuff going on. And build your foundation, and suggestions will come from that. Like the experience that's in the room, you know what I mean? If I could suggest anything, it'd be get over that initial fear of speaking to somebody. Because it's all scary. It's making decisions is scary. Choices are scary. The more opportunities and choices that I get, the more scared I get. You know what I mean? And the more I have to put it through a filter and figure out what fits, what's appropriate, and what's right. Because sometimes I still want to like leave Harris Teeter with the groceries. Sometimes in my mind that's appropriate. You know what I mean? So I would strongly suggest overcoming the fear and opening your mouth. Because I can tell you now, if you drop me in any place in the United States, I'm going to find that one, whatever I need, person, place, area, and I'm going to make moves accordingly. That is exactly what's going to happen. That's just what's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah, so you can get clean, you can recover kind of in any location.
Oh, I was talking about doing the other stuff,
I know,
but you
just
can,
like-
exactly.
Flip it.
It's the fear, just like you were saying earlier. If you can overcome the fear of just initially saying,
Get
hey,
honest.
yeah, I'm at this place,
Right.
here's what I have going on.
Yeah.
Not everybody fits. You know, when I first came around, I was talking to people and like, I have a whole new thing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought this was it. Like, I thought when I came around, this is what this is.
Right.
Basic. You know what I mean? And then, you know, things just change over time. It's all in what you put in, you know what I mean? Just like anything else. It's like exercise, you know? Or, you know, getting a job. It's scary to find another job.
Yeah,
That's a scary
why,
thing.
Why don't you tell them about that your experience real quick, like
With exercise?
No, no, like you know, the Jeremy I met, you know, 5 years ago, whatever it was, you know, is employee wise, like you were working, like basically barely making ends meet, like you were
Well,
working. You had the initiative, but like the Jeremy today is like you own your own company.
The thing
you
is
have
I had,
employees, like
this
what?
is what's so sad, is my ends were like the Metro PCS bill.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying?
Metro PCS.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like anything else. Like when I said, if you drop me off in a city over here or wherever, like I'm gonna figure it out. You know, there's a special talent that like addicts and alcoholics alike have, be it a social talent or whatever it is. Like there's a niche there that, you know, it's just like people that go to college or people that like are outdoorsy and can survive in the outdoors. Like it's a whole different thing, and I've flipped it now.
Yeah.
You know, in a healthy, good, non-manipulative way.
Right.
I flipped it, but like, dude, me coming around, I went to Avery Road in my brother's 3XL hoodie. You know what I mean? I had slippers, and I had nothing.
No, you did have a fedora. I remember.
Did I?
Yeah.
You had a fedora?
I had long hair.
Well, he
I had
Oh
a
my
fedora.
God.
One time we're going to an outside meeting and Jeremy just put
It
on
was
this-
green.
He put on this fedora and he was just like going to the outside meeting. So he was like fedora, no fedora. I
Oh,
was just
crush. No, that's
you should have
true.
that.
I did. That was a piece of me. It was mine. You know, but coming out of treatment, dude, I did just what they said. Like, it was a blessing to me to go to Veersmill and Randolph and buy work pants at the thrift store. Like, it was a blessing to me to take two $20 bills and buy pairs of pants that fit me to go to work in. You know, and they talk about spiritual awakenings. This is big for me, okay? This is real. This is true. I was on the bus, and I was hungry. And I was passing Kenny's sub shop, and I just had this, like thought. I was like, I'm hungry. I have money. I want to eat. I can pull this string right now, get off, buy a sandwich, and fulfill that need. You know, that was a gift. Like, that was a gift. It was everything to me to, like, have a sandwich or, like, a cup of orange juice or whatever. And, like, now, I mean, I don't even know, dude. Life now is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, you're going on.
It's
you're
absolutely crazy.
You're jumping on planes. You're going on vacations. You're going to wherever. You know, there's no geographical restrictions.
Words, like, look, like a credit score, health insurance, retirement, 401k, stock market, like all these words that were impossible, investments, like, what is a credit score? Yo, what was your credit score when you came in?
I don't know. My plug would give me up to $5,000
This guy.
at a time. Is that what we're talking about?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
No. Most people's, like, mine was like a 480. What about you?
Mine, I owed so much money to like hospital bills and stuff. I don't even know, but it was bad.
Were they hospital use? You got like a thing going on, or were they like a result of suffering?
Car accidents.
Car accidents from the suffering.
So
Hip
many car
replacements.
accidents. 2 hip replacements.
Yeah, but now
How vicious is that? You've had 2 hip replacements?
Yeah.
From what? When you were skiing?
Car
When you were
accidents.
skiing?
You were skiing?
Car accidents
Snowboarding.
Police chases, car accidents.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
name
you were in
it.
a police chase, Melissa?
Yes. It's another time for that.
Yeah, so my credit score now is almost, you know, it's like 680. I'm working on it, you know?
It's getting up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But if you told me credit, you know, while we're at Avery Road, I'd say, well, I can get this much from it. That my whole life was
Credit
just-
score and retirement, this
It's
is
like-
all for different people. This
Yeah.
is for people that I see
Yeah.
when I'm sweating it out or like suffering somewhere, you know.
Not for you.
To be so blessed today, and this is important, someone was talking about this the other day, like it is your job. It is your place to grab the new person that is so afraid to talk to you. It's your place when you see a face. I keep saying your place, I'm talking to the phone. It is my place. Look, when I'm sitting in a meeting and I see sweaty, clammy suffering or like whatever it is, or maybe they look fresh but I've never seen the face, you know, it is my job to approach them and say, hey, are you from the area? And put those 5 initial, like, let's break the ice here, cool, number, maybe I shoot you a text and check on you, because somebody cares. Like, to genuinely care from my heart, I will see that same face on a Monday night again is like a vicious thing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I used to see toddlers running around in like cesspools, you know, and like all this stuff going on. But if I said anything, it might affect me doing what I need to do. When I come back next week and Child Protective Services and now my situation's all messed up. Because I come here to cop twice a week, so I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah.
You know, it is my job to approach that person and introduce myself and extend a hand, because they just might end up in like a few different places.
Yeah.
You know?
And people did that, you know, for me, I'm sure, you know, for you too, that just kind of broke the ice.
Yeah, that
just
one initial person that came up to you.
Right.
Yeah, and buy them a sandwich.
Right. And even if you have like, and even if you have like 30,
tacos.
You have 30 days, 60 days, even 2 weeks clean, a day clean, you know, you can help spread the message. I mean, to somebody who just got in. You know, there's no hierarchy in 12 steps. Don't, you know, get twisted about that. There's no, everybody is pretty much the same. Some people just have more experience than others and more clean time, but like, you know, you don't feel out of place by like helping up, showing up and telling the newcomer that like, come back tomorrow. And, you know, because people that are, you know, early in the recovery now are closer to the suffering than we are. I mean, we remember it and everything, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's tough to feel good, and we're way past our mark. I'm just saying. But it is tough to feel good, but your phone.
I know, man.
Where's your secretary?
We don't have a secretary.
No, they're hiring secretaries.
Yeah, for real.
Can we endorse on here? Do we get paid for that?
Yeah, I know, right?
So it's hard to feel good about a sandwich. It's hard to feel good about going to my niece's birthday party and having a good time. It's hard to go to the Grand Canyon and enjoy myself. You know what I mean? But I don't think, I know it is so important to feel that and know that you deserve that. You know, everybody, you know.
So in the beginning you felt like you didn't deserve anything.
I feel like that now. I was just in Florida for a week and I have a hard time enjoying myself.
You're just, like,
I'm gonna go get in my car and like, I'm gonna have a hard time enjoying my life. Now my life is absolutely insane. Sometimes people call look, and it's all kinds of things. Like, sometimes people call my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, my sister's calling me. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, you know, my little brother wants to talk to me about life stuff.
Or your grandma.
Or my grandma.
Life and is like your best friend now.
Dude, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. Like the plans that I'm making now and the moves that I'm making, you know, it's nothing to me to think about giving someone a ride to a meeting.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I wake up at 4:30. I will crush my day till 5:30, walk the dog for 20 minutes, feed the dog, do some more work, pick someone up, go to a meeting, come home, do some more work, go to sleep, and it's nothing to me. You know, there's not like irritation or like, you know, I feel like that's the hotline. I feel like someone is in a phone booth. You know, they took this phone booth out one time on 14th Street. I was so blown.
Well, right now, like when we conclude this, you know, I'm going to be calling all these people back and, you know,
and giving them a chance.
Giving them seconds.
I mean, that's a real thing, you know. That's a real thing that everybody deserves. I believe that everybody deserves that, you know. And I struggle with that now. Like, I struggle with feeling like I deserve my life right now, and I deserve the people around me.
I mean, you do.
You do, and thanks for making the commitment to come out here and
Talk for a final endorsement.
Let's get. Yeah, so this Jeremy, no, thanks for coming out, and we'd like to have you again. And stay tuned, everybody. You're listening to The Leaves of Change with Tree of Hope. I'm Nick.
And Melissa? Boom.
Yo, every time you say I'm Nick and I'm Melissa, I want to say, and I am Jeremy. like in Scarface, you know what I'm talking about?
Thanks for listening to this episode of Leaves of Change. Stay tuned for more inspirational stories of recovery. For more information about Tree of Hope and more podcasts, check out www.treeofhopeassociation.com. Also, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching Tree of Hope Association.